as quickly as they can.
Just had a look at Armel Potter and Jamison Battle. On the Colonial side of things, Joel Soriano, the one to watch for Fordham. Sean Hull, Tommy Morrissey, Jeff Pond are officials today. These two meet for the 38th time. A series dominated by the Colonials, though they've lost the last three. Jack off with a carom.
Jack will jack up a lot of shots, and he is a streak shooter. When he gets going, he is very tough to guard. And he's important. Now, Jamie Christian just whipped off his jacket, so we know the game's underway now.
Urton Ghazi, the one to watch, in addition to Soriano, who has the basketball, the rise up to get the scoring started.
Soriano has played very well the last couple of weeks, really coming on. That's what coaches look for from their players, to get hot in February and, of course, in March.
No Jameer Nelson Jr. in the GW lineup this afternoon. Sidelined for the rest of the year with what's a hip issue.
Yeah, he had been playing with some hip pain for the last couple of weeks, and Jamie Christian said in practice on Sunday he was clearly in pain.
Chase Parr, the freshman from Mount Airy, Maryland, getting the scoring started for GW, has been one of their more talented ones in that class.
Yeah, and that's a bonus for him, hitting a 15-footer. Big guy, close to 7 feet tall. But Jamie Christian said they decided to take Jameer Nelson Jr. to the doctor on Monday, and he had an MRI, and it showed. They're not exactly sure what it showed, but they're concerned enough that he could have played today, perhaps, but Jamie Christian's not taking a chance. Kid's a freshman with a great future.
Yeah, certainly is, with an even better pedigree.
Well, his father was a pretty good player, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was on that great St. Joe's team in 2004 that went to the Elite Eight and then played in the NBA for 12 years.
Yeah, we talked about Dayton as this pass goes high to Jack, and now Battle, the rise up and contact offensive foul. But to finish the thought, we talked about Dayton, running the table in the conference. First one to do it in 14 years. Jeff Neubauer, in his 5th season on the Fordham bench.
I think Jeff Neubauer has done a tremendous job this year with a team that lost its leading scorer at the start of conference play. They lost a very good guard, Nick Honor, to transfer at the end of last season. If both those guys were on the court, it would have been a very different season for Fordham.
Portley, another one of those transfers from the NEC at St. Peter's. Or the MAC, excuse me.
The MAC.
Yep. The Metro Atlantic.
Yep. Moved across the river from New Jersey to the Bronx. Nice shot there. Left-handed hook by Parr. Talented youngster.
Yeah, 4 early for Chase Parr. So back and forth we go. Each team has started 2 of its first 3. Portly, with steps.
You got to catch it, and you got to establish that pivot foot. And sometimes kids are going a little too fast, and that's what happened to Portley there.
Jamie and Christian, known for successful turnarounds. Mount St. Mary's, a couple of NCAA tournament appearances. Only 1 year at Siena to get that program where it needed to be. And now here to try and resurrect this Colonials program. Already more wins than they had all of last year.
He said he grew up in Virginia watching Mike Jarvis's great teams back in the 90s at George Washington, and was always a GW fan. So this job made a lot of sense for him when the chance came. Did a terrific job, as you mentioned, at his alma mater, Mount St. Mary's, where he played for the great Jim Phelan in the late 90s and early 2000s. And Jim Phelan should be in the Hall of Fame. I won't go into a whole lot of detail. Google him and tell me why he's not.
Yep. Curl for Jack. Nice catch, but again, a little long on the three-point attempt.
You know what? He was shooting off balance. Instead of going into the shot, he was actually going backwards, and he was open, as you called it.
Cologne with the skip over the top to Cobb.
When I was a kid, Matt, you threw that pass, you were on the bench. Now it's part of almost everybody's offense.
Yeah, it certainly is. Find somebody who doesn't throw it. Juice Williams able to get the deflection for GW.
Getting the start in place of Jameer Nelson Jr.
And there's Williams again, energy guy, who had a big last 5 or 6 games last year down the stretch, was averaging double figures.
With the new coach, new system, again, as with St. Joseph's with the new coach, a couple players transferred. And some of the guys who stayed there, like Williams, are in different roles this year than they were a year ago.
Rams trying to avoid what would be a 3rd straight turnover. They've given it away on the last 2 possessions. Cobb, way high archer, and hung it up there.
Barclay's center ceiling's pretty high. That almost hit the Dennis Potvin jersey hanging from the rafters and ended up in the basket. I'm so glad my Islanders have moved back to Long Island.
Yeah, they're not here anymore, huh?
They belong on Long Island.
39-3 of the year for Jalen Cobb. One of just a couple of double-figure
pass,
scores.
Give and go. Classic give and go there. That was straight out of the Princeton offense playbook.
Jamison Battle with Nelson and Parr. They form that freshman class trio.
Yeah, that's why, again, there's good reason for hope at GW.
Nice kick out, Portley. Cobb long on the three-point attempt.
One key player they're going to lose this year is the guy with the ball right now, Potter. Graduate transfer.
And a homecoming for him, a Long Island guy. Sprayberry High School, averaged 26 points a game, but ended up with injuries his senior year. One guy recruited him, former South Carolina guard B.J. Mackey at Charleston Southern. Back of the rim for Battle. And quickly grabbed out of the air by Portley. 1 point lead early on. Fordham over GW. Matt Martucci, John Feinstein, our second one of the day.
Cologne was open there twice and elected not to shoot. Scotland trying to back in, but he's so far out. That's a tough place to post from.
Soriano, soft touch, got it on the heel.
I mean Soriano, I don't know what I was saying there, but yeah, good. That's where Soriano has improved. I would have told you a month ago, no way he makes that shot.
So around this time last year, talking to Jeff Neubauer before you and I did the Fordham-Richmond game, he said, we have this kid coming in from Yonkers. He's a local kid, Archbishop Stepanak. We're really excited about him.
With good reason.
Potter spins that one off the rim, and Soriano able to clear it.
Experienced coaches like Jeff Neubauer they don't hype incoming players unless they're really good.
Really good.
So if Jeff Neubauer says a kid's really good, you can trust them. Very successful at Eastern Kentucky for 10 years, and of course worked for John Beeline at West Virginia.
Potter maybe a little late on the bounce, and the recovery for Cobb. Ghazi with the left.
Good look up the court, and again, that's what both teams want to do. They want to beat the other team's half-court defense down the court, and that's why conversion is so important for both these teams. But Fordham, it really guards, and their problem is they don't score. 58 points a game. Nice pass.
And they get the contact, though. Offensive foul on Chase Parr. And Fordham off to a good start. Rams 62.5% shooting and a 5-point lead here in Brooklyn.
If you win a game, that's great, but you want to win more than one game. I don't think George Mason's going to play St. Bonaventure tomorrow thinking our job is done because we won a first-round game.
Fordham 5 of its first 8 from the field. And they're big, who we talked about at the top of the broadcast, Joel Soriano. 6 of the 11 points. Rams settle in on offense. Ivan Rout, the junior from Montenegro, newly in for the Rams.
He missed part of the season injured too, but now he's back.
Ty Perry also out there. And they skip it. Ghazi, top of the circle.
Ghazi's been shooting the ball much better lately, but that one was front rimmer. I think GW would like to get Potter more involved in the offense here.
They go a little two-game with he and Parr. Sean Walker Jr. newly in.
That was a freshman move by Parr. Didn't see the double team coming at all. Got stripped.
Perry took it away, setting up Rout. Good look.
You've got to make those if you're going to win these games. When you get the open three, if you're not a good enough shooter to shoot it, you got to pass it.
Suddenly back-to-back misses for Fordham. GW scoring drought over 3 minutes. Jack trying to end it. A trip to the free throw line coming for the Buffalo native.
Nice move there by Jack, using his shot fake to get into the lane. You know, years ago, Bob Knight said to me, is there anything better in life than a good shot fake? And I said, yes, Bob, there are many things better in life than a good shot fake. But when you're playing basketball, it's not a bad thing.
And works for Maceo Jack. Said Western New York guy, Buffalo. And son of what's a women's basketball coach on the D1 side. His mom, Felicia Leggett Jack. He's up there at Buffalo, just received a contract extension. He was actually on one of her off days, able to see him play earlier this year in a homecoming against St. Bonaventure.
Of course, Buffalo was one of the great stories in college basketball the last couple of years with Nate Oates, who 6 years ago was a high school coach at Romulus High School outside Detroit, and he was one of the guys I worked with on my book, the Back Roads to March, just out, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Another miss from the top of the key, but Nate and I spoke after he got the job at Alabama last year, and he said, I just got my first check, and after taxes, it's for more money than I made the entire year when I was coaching in high school. That's quite a rise. Nice, and he rose there to Jack.
3 now for Maceo Jack. That's his first field goal, and it ends a 3.5-minute field goal drought for the Colonials.
Did you like how I worked that book plug in?
Yeah, it was good. I can't wait to read it.
I hope you do.
I told you, many of them on the shelf. A March to Madness, one of my favorites.
Grateful for that.
Shot clock down to 10. Cobb
trying to go one-on-one, but pitched back.
Austin in off the bench and got it to stick.
That one seemed to be undecided about which direction it was going to go in while it was hanging on the rim. Austin gets the shooter's roll. And Potter still not very involved in the GW offense. He is their leading scorer.
Almost 9 minutes gone by here in the first half. Fordham in control.
Charge, good call.
Offensive foul on Potter.
Potter trying a little too hard, Matt.
When we return, 4-point lead for Fordham.
We're going to Turkey was 4 in a row in bowling. You're looking at me blankly. But
yeah, I mean,
they want to get 4, so I guess that's 2 turkeys.
Our producer Chris Farrow says it is 3 in a row.
3 in a row?
Applies for bowling.
I thought it was 4 for some reason.
So I guess you were doing okay.
I was a decent bowler once upon a time. I was decent at a lot of things till I got old.
What have I told you, John? The older you get, the better you used to be.
That's right? Exactly right. Joe Garagiola was the first one I ever heard say that.
Shot clock cut in half here for Fordham.
Good hands.
Soriano lost it out of bounds, but deflected that way. So, yeah, it's 3 for a turkey, 5 for what they call a monster, and then 10 for the king of monsters, Godzilla, when they get to 10 straight.
When they get to 10 straight, they probably have the game won.
Yeah, I would say so.
Again, good hands on defense there by GW on the inbounds. Kind of careless pass. Javier Langarica and Arnaldo Toro, both big guys into the game now. Toro was their leading rebounder, but he's been struggling with injuries. And J.B. Christian said the problem Toro's had is that since he's been back healthy, he hurt his ankle, he's been playing more not to get hurt than playing to bang. And you got to bang. There he banged on that screen.
And now got the
Missed
cut.
the pass.
Yeah, but just tough pass. Perry and Austin on the run.
That was an athletic move, wasn't it? But Jamie Christian was saying he hoped the light would go on for Toro this week. And since he's a senior, it better go on right now. Langarica, also in the game from Spain, has had his moments, but he's also struggled some this season.
Another guy that's battled injuries.
Yep.
Jack with another miss. Offensive rebound for Sean Walker Jr., the son of the Elizabeth City State head coach down in North Carolina.
One of those talented freshmen you were talking about. He's been injured too for part of the season.
Walker might have to be the bailout. 5 to shoot. Gets it back. Toro has to put it up.
He did get it off. Short. He did get it off, but pretty good shot there. And just as you said, left it short.
Arnaldo Toro, a guy making a semi-homecoming. His hometown is actually Hormigueros in Puerto Rico, but played his high school ball over the river at St. Benedict's.
Let's watch this foul called on. I'm not sure who the foul was called on there, but here's a replay of Austin's dunk off that loose ball there. He was up.
Yeah, 4 off the bench. Chris Austin going to sit down.
Fordham gets 20 seconds after the foul. Again, I said it in the first game. I'll say it again. Commit a foul, you should get a full 30-second clock, in my mind. Not in the mind of the NCAA Rules Committee, which I'm not on. Nor will I ever be. I should be on the basketball committee. I'm better at picking teams than the basketball committee.
On the kick out to Perry. They go with the long miss.
If I was on the basketball committee, there would not be 11 teams from the Big Ten in the tournament this year. I promise you that.
Well, maybe there won't be anyway.
There might not be, but there'll be 10.
Parr.
Nice move by Parr there.
Position.
You know what the best part of that play was? Your positioning, but the catch. Very underrated talent for a big guy is being able to catch the ball on the move.
More than half the points for GW for Chase Parr. He's 6 on a perfect 3 for 3. Portley with the taller Toro, kick out and Perry. That's his forte. 42nd of the year for Ty Perry.
And a nice kick by Portley there. Drew the defense to him, knew where the shooter was, and found him.
36% shooter, good enough to be a top 20 guy in the league. Walker navigating, got bumped for sure. And we'll be on the free throw line when we return. Fordham so far out of the gate here in the first 12 minutes.
That's what I was talking about. But as Jeff Neubauer said to me the other day, they struggle to score. 4th worst in D1. To put that in perspective, means there are 350 teams in the country better than they are in offense. And that makes every game hard. But they've been in every game. They don't get blown out. They've been in every game because of their defense.
We've talked about Rhode Island.
Except Davidson, that made 18 threes.
Talked about Rhode Island as one of the top 3 teams in the conference. They took them to the wire. It was a 1-point game, and Obi Toppin's younger brother Jacob needed to get fouled with 6 seconds left and make both free throws to beat them in Rose Hill.
Yeah, and that's the point, that they have played everybody competitively, even with the injury to their leading scorer and maybe their best defensive player in O'Hare.
Soriano's definitely helped that cause.
Sure
Again,
has.
a soft touch.
A big guy with a soft touch. Every coach's dream.
Perfect afternoon continues for Joel Soriano. Prepped at Archbishop Stepinac, and they did the extra year, the post-grad year at St. Thomas More.
More and more kids doing those postgraduate years. So you've got, sometimes you're talking about freshmen who are 20 years old.
Yeah, it definitely makes a huge difference. Obi Toppin, one of the best examples in this league.
Jump ball there. Good defense again by Fordham, and it's Fordham's ball.
Tommy Morrissey, the one to make the call. Well, you like trivia questions. Who's one of the better point guards ever to come out of St. Thomas More? Let's take a look at this from Toro.
There you go. Toro gets tied up there on the double team. You got to be quick when Fordham double teams. I would be just taking a guess. So, just as you didn't guess on my Abdul-Jabbar question, I won't guess on yours.
It would be Ed Cota from North Carolina.
Ed Cota, yeah. And by the way, interesting you bring him up because there's a moving screen that turns the ball back over, called by Jeff Fahn on Joel Soriano. How old was Ed Cota when he went to North Carolina as a freshman?
At least 20 years old.
22.
Yeah.
22.
Yeah, he was much older.
He was a very mature freshman.
Yes, he was. Rams by 9. Trying to get out of the first round, set up a meeting with Duquesne tomorrow. Battle, having a tough time getting going for the talented freshman in Cologne, out of the pack.
He's a much better shooter than that. He's shown that again and again. In fact, I was talking to Jeff Neubauer about Potter and how good he was. He said, the guy I'm most afraid of is Battle. Nice move.
Portley, that's the
finish.
offhand, though.
The left hand, you're right. And that's good defense by GW. That's part of scouting. Saying, okay, make him shoot with his left hand. Make him dribble with his left hand.
First meeting of the year, Colonials were held to what was 20 points in the first half against Fordham.
They've got 11 with 6 minutes to go here.
Yep.
This is the way Fordham likes to play.
Face up for Toro. Shot clock winded down. Jack, the bailout.
Boy, you would have thought Jack would make that shot. He's a very good shooter. He struggled too, just like Battle. Some of that's Fordham defense. And now Jeff Neubauer wants a quick timeout here, interestingly, with a 9-point lead.
Rams with almost 12 minutes worth of lead here in the first half.
Mason was underpicked at 9th at the start of the season. I was like Dave Paulson. I thought they could finish in the top 4 or 5, but of course injuries changed that a lot. Injuries are always a factor. They have been a factor. All 4 teams playing here today have had real injury problems, not just the kind coaches use as excuses, but real injury problems.
Nice kick out. Portley and Rout playing a little 2-game, but again long on the 3. Rams are only 2 of 10 from the perimeter.
Well, nobody's making threes here in this game. GW's only made 1.
Colonials 0 from their last 4 from the field. Pair of turnovers.
GW hasn't made any. 0 for 6.
Coming toward 5 minutes left in the first half. At 2.5 minutes worth of time, but otherwise all Fordham.
And see, that's when you see teams getting called for moving screens, that's because they're struggling offensively. They're trying like heck to get somebody open. And so player tries a little too hard, moves a foot, moves part of his body, and it's a moving screen. Now, Jamie and Christian doesn't agree with Sean Hull, but usually when a moving screen's called, it's because there was movement. Officials don't like to call it unless they feel they have to.
The result ends up being the 8th GW turnover here in this first half.
And at this pace of play, that's a lot.
Portley, nice backdoor bounce, late whistle from Sean Hull.
It looked like they were going to play on, and Sean Hull went to the whistle late. Be a 2-shot foul for Portley. 6 fouls on GW, only 3 on Fordham. Here you see the nice cut. Portley, he got fouled in the back, no question.
Antoine Portley from Lancaster, Texas, Dallas County, city that has a population of less than about 40,000 people.
Low-scoring game like this, missed free throws can be critical before it's all over.
Fordham's first 2 trips. So 1 of 2 for Portley. Kyle Rose, who's an Eleanor Roosevelt grad from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, same high school that produced St. Joseph's Delonte West.
I used to work in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, covering Prince George's County government for the Washington Post, like an old Wild West town.
You've graduated, I think, to better assignments. Battle.
That's a big 3 for GW. First one of the game. They need to get Battle going. They need to get Battle and Potter going.
88th one of the year for Jamison Battle. 37% shooter. Good enough for inside the top 15 in the league.
Well, always worth remembering, if you shoot 33% from 3, it's like shooting 50% from 2. That's solid. That's a quick shot. That was a very quick shot there.
Another high arcer for Cobb.
That one almost brought down the Mike Bossy banner.
You're going to run out of banners soon enough.
Nah, there's a lot of them up there for the Islanders. They were great once.
Shot clock cut in half for Walker. Kick out. Potter got his
2 in a row. 2 in a row. 2 threes in a row, and they come from Battle and Potter. That's exactly what GW needed. All of a sudden, you go from a 10-point lead to a 4-point lead, and GW's 2 best shooters start to get going.
First field goal of the day for Armel Potter. Averaged 14 points a game during the regular season. Fordham shot clock down to 10. They haven't had a field goal for over 4 minutes. Perry wheeling and takes care of it.
Nice move there by Perry. No help. He was able to go one-on-one and get a good shot.
Back to 6 is the Ram lead. 5 now off the bench for Ty Perry. Good help there from Rout. Toro with the size over the top, able to get it around him, but a hook first. Offensive foul on Arnaldo Toro.
Toro's got to feel like he can't catch a break.
It's a 6-point lead now for Fordham, but GW getting involved has just ended up shy of that double bye thanks to what was a Friday night loss to Richmond on the second to last night of the regular season.
Now it's a big win for Richmond because not only did it get him second place, but that needs to go on their resume when the committee gets together. Because Duquesne's been a good team all year. Now we have a quick whistle.
And
shot clock didn't start.
It never started.
Yeah.
You saw Dayton in there. Kind of a double-edged sword, I guess, if you will, because historically you want the Flyers to run through the conference because of, what it would mean for historical purposes, right. But for the league's purposes,
they want at least another bid. I mean, last year VCU was 16-2, and they were going to be the only team to get a bid if not for St. Louis winning the tournament.
I told you, felt like the Billikens were the best shot to maybe make that happen in terms of Dayton's road.
Yeah, they might very well be. They play in the semifinals.
Cologne with the shot clock down to 10.
They both got there, of course.
Got himself into the corner, got him out of it.
Perry's made one already. Now he's made two.
8 now for Ty Perry. Third Fordham 3 on what's 12 tries. Two teams are shooting only 25% combined.
Yeah, struggling from the three-point line, although GW made a couple in a row after making none.
Jack creating the opportunity. Contact. Offensive foul.
See, I'd like to see where the defender was. And here you see again a nice pass by Cologne to Perry in the corner. And then Jack gets in the lane here. No, he was outside the cylinder. I thought Jack did a pretty good job of going straight up there, but I'm going to say Jeff Pan's a better referee than I am. Rising young referee.
Yep. Second largest lead of the afternoon for Fordham. 6 different Rams have scored. Ghazi is one of them, but couldn't finish.
Looked like he had that one. And this is where Fordham gives GW trouble. You see they set the high ball screen for Potter, but Fordham broke it down, and Potter was forced to give the ball up. He still had somebody right with him.
And Toro maybe a little more open than he expected. Route open here. And knocks down another one. So back-to-back threes for the Rams. Perry and Route.
Good time for Jamie and Christian to take his use it or lose it timeout here. Be here next year and we'll compare notes.
That sounds good to me.
We'll give you Predictor of the Year award.
Fair enough.
In fact, he's the leading scorer next year. I like Battle a lot. I think Battle might be up there. And remember, Ryan Daly's back.
That's true. That's a good point.
That was not the possession Jamie and Christian wanted coming out of the timeout. The idea was to get the ball in the low post, but it wasn't to overthrow the pass and have it go out of bounds. And he's got that look on his face like, what do I do now? Which coaches get often, since they can't make plays. He was a very good player, by the way.
Yes, he was.
St. Mary's for Jim Phelan. Played for a Hall of Fame coach, even though he's not in the Hall of Fame.
And 90 career games.
Politics.
Averaged almost 7 points a game as a college player.
And he's a very good defender.
Good defender,
yeah.
Yep. Spent a little time on Shaka Smart's staff at VCU, so familiar with the league before he got here.
When he gets the team he wants here, they will go to that Havoc style. And there's Portley with another three. Fordham heating up at just the right time. And because he shot it as soon as he did, they can go 2 for 1. There's a 10-second difference on the shot clock.
11-0 Ram run, John. And now,
just the right time.
Yeah, almost the last 3 minutes.
Oh, that should be a charge.
And
good
Walker,
call.
yep, offensive foul.
And you might say Cologne was moving. He might have been, but the elbow came out. And Walker's elbow came out, and that's why it was called a charge. And I think Morris got it right. See that right elbow? That's a good call. And now they will get the last shot, unless something funny happens here, because the shot clock is off. So critical possession for GW here to get a stop.
Largest lead of the game for Fordham on this 11-0 run. Rams are 4 of their last 5 from the field.
They set up the 1-4 here. Cologne will dribble it down under 10 seconds and get in the lane and try to create something.
8 seconds. Bounce for Cologne. Tough angle. Ghazi hit the offensive glass and a little short.
He rushed it because he didn't realize there was still 4 seconds left. That they were able to get a stop on that last possession of the half, or it could have been worse.
50% first half for the Rams from the field. And they get the late threes. Perry having a big hand. 50% first half for the Rams from the field. And they get the late threes. Perry having a big hand in that. And look at the points off of the turnovers,
and a lot of points off the bench, too. And a lot of that was Perry. And points off turnovers is what's keeping GW in the game. And they needed Jack to open the half by making that. A, because they could have used the 3 points. B, because they need to get Jack going. They need to get their shooters going. First half, Battle was only 2 for 5. Jack was 1 for 5. And Potter was only 1 for 2. He's their leading scorer. That pass into the third row. And one of the things when you throw those cross-court passes, sometimes it's hard to connect. We saw Ryan Daly, one of the best players in his conference, throw one in the third row early in the first game.
One of our friends from the conference staff almost ended up catching that one.
Well, it wouldn't have been Sean, that's for sure. He'd have dropped it.
Potter drawing contact, Fordham-Gwu.
And that's helpful to get Potter involved, even though it's a non-shooting foul.
Other than getting your shooters going, what do you think Jamie and Christian said to his guys?
Well, I think he told them they've got to work harder on getting through those high ball screens, on using their high ball screens through the defense. That's too deep a shot. Even if it goes in, it's too deep a shot. Nice play there by Parr, though, to back tap it.
Yeah, good hustle to bring the shot clock back to 20. Potter, a little one-on-one, got the footwork, got up in the air, and the friendly bounce.
Well, and that's what they need. That's what they need Potter to do. He's very good at penetrating. Not a three-point shooter, even though he's a guard. He doesn't shoot it very often, and when he does, he doesn't usually make it. So that's his game. That was not backcourt, even though Jamie and Christian screaming for it, because the ball has to be all the way in the front court and then go in the backcourt.
Fordham shot clock inside of 15. Portley might have gotten that partially blocked by Parr.
I think Parr came out and got a little hand on it, and it was just short. Good play by him. Good alertness by you to notice.
Walker. And long on that. Soriano cleans it up. What's his 5th rebound to go with 8 points?
Interesting that Walker got the start here in the second half. Going with the young guys.
Maybe felt like he could initiate offense a little better?
Yeah, maybe trying to send a little message to Battle. I don't know. Or Battle might be hurt. Who knows?
Two minutes into the second half. Matt Martucci, John Feinstein. Fordham so far, wire to wire.
My mistake. Battle's out there. But he's got 3 freshmen on the floor. Battle, Parr, and Walker. Might have 4 if Jameer Nelson wasn't hurt.
Not the best decision by Cobb. Jack got stripped. Foul on Fordham.
And things get a little chippy here. Guys getting in each other's face. Cologne there committed the foul with a few words to Jack. Fordham players huddling up. That was a hard foul. Now that's a hard foul that shouldn't be called anything more than a hard foul, in my opinion, because his hand went right across his arms where the ball was.
Maceo Jack headed to the free throw line.
Fordham a little cold starting the half, hasn't scored yet.
He's one of those guys that's really had trouble shooting the basketball, not only here, but in the previous 2 meetings. Ended up 4 for 15 in Rose Hill.
I think it's fair to say that GW's had trouble shooting the ball as a team in both those meetings.
Yep, just period. Yeah, I mean, we talked about the first one at Rose Hill, 20 first half points, held to 17 today. Cologne lost it.
Cologne is really looking out of sorts here at the start of the half. Good hands, though, to stop that fast break. Battle goes all the way in, looking for a layup on the fast break, and Portley got a hand in there and knocked it out of bounds. That's what you call picking up a teammate. Now Cologne's coming out. He's going to get a little talking to, I suspect, by the assistant coaches. Of course, he goes to the end of the bench right away. It's a smart play.
Kyle Rose is the one to replace him. Face up, nice drive for Parr, but had to change the angle because of Soriano.
Yeah, Soriano's got at least as much size as Parr, and as you said, forced him to change that shot. Nice aggressive play, though, by Parr. I'd like to see that.
2 games, Soriano and Ghazi off the handoff.
And nice play, as you said, Ghazi using the screen and then going under Parr for that layup. Sometimes that little scoop shot is more effective.
4 now for Fordham-Gwu.
Stepped out of bounds. That's the kind of play that you really shouldn't make, where you got to know where you are on the court at all times.
Was up at Ole for a Bonaventure game this year. Saw one player do it 3 times in the same game.
Maybe it's a small court.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. But you can't do that. That's something you've got to be. These guys have played basketball all their lives. They have to know where the end line is and where the sidelines are. It's a good thing that foul was called, because otherwise Ghazi's in for another layup.
Second one on Jamison Battle. Arnaldo Toro shedding a warm-up jersey, ready to come in for Jamie and Christian. We talked about the turkey board before. You know, all the visual thinking, wanting to create processes. They also do some meditation quite a bit, he mentioned to me. Sometimes even guys meditate even during timeouts.
My kids have tried to get me to meditate. I tend to fall asleep.
Maybe that shows you it's working.
Maybe. I could use the extra rest. That's a tough shot. Step back three. Shot clock down, had to take it. Not a lot of guys at the college level who can consistently make a step back.
Potter, nice up and under, got it to Toro.
And he got fouled. Nice pass there.
And Arnaldo Toro will be on the free throw line when we return, but still all Rams here in our first round at the Barclays Center.
Not to send their bands. Cheerleaders are here from both schools. Of course, every school has to make up its own mind, and it's a shorter trip, certainly for Fordham, to get here. GW, not a bad trip, although Jeff Neubauer made the point to me about his team coming over here yesterday from the Bronx that sometimes it's easier to get here from Philadelphia than from the Bronx.
From the Bronx, yeah. No question. Toro takes care of the first. Jeff Neubauer, who himself played at LaSalle.
Yep, another Philly guy. A lot of Philly guys in coaching, aren't there?
Played for the great Speedy Morris.
Speedy Morris still coaching high school ball.
This is it, though.
He's retiring?
He's retiring after this year.
He's had an unbelievable career. Of course, Coach Lionel Simmons at LaSalle.
Randy Woods
went 31-2 in 1990. Terrific guy, great coach. Wolf.
Soriano.
That's a high percentage shot, and that's a good offensive set call out of a timeout. Notice that both teams scored out of the timeout. That shows the coaches know what they're doing, which I knew already, and you knew already. But
yes, that's true.
Affirmation, as they say.
10 for Soriano.
Double team there on Potter, which is what they want to do, and get it to Battle and have him make a shot, which is what GW wants him to do.
8 now for Jamison Battle.
He heats up. This game changes. And GW with some full court pressure, trying to change things up a little bit here. Not a terrible idea. Speed the game up.
11-point game. Cobb and Ghazi. Soriano, good position, using that big body.
And that's exactly what he did, because he had two GW guys around him. He just out-jumped them for the ball. Bad pass.
Taken away by Juice Williams.
You want to throw that cross-court pass, you better be sure it's getting there. Often it leads to a fast break. Potter got away with one there, I think.
Ball loose on the floor. Toro able to get it. Battle got it blocked by Soriano.
Great play by Soriano. I thought Battle was going to get a layup out of that.
Portley on the run out. Good adjustment. And Fordham back up 13.
Good adjustment and heads-up play by Soriano, because he wanted to go up there and tap that ball. And at the last second, he pulled his hand back, because if he had, it would have been offensive goaltending. Really heady player, especially for a freshman.
Good screen there for Toro. They threw it away.
Pass.
Rose.
So now they match each other, bad pass for bad pass.
Ghazi raise up.
Fordham's results in a layup.
And 4 straight now for the Rams in terms of fast break points.
That's a big run, 4 straight points, isn't it?
They're 8-0 in that category in terms of fast break buckets.
And this is a team that doesn't look for fast break buckets very much.
Jack trying to quell the run, able to do it.
Well, GW's shooter starting to make some shots, keeping him in the game here. And again, Jamie and Christian trying to up the pace here with the full court pressure.
7 down for Maceo Jack.
He's 1 on 3.
And Soriano right over the top.
He was 2 on 3, my mistake, and one of the 2 was Soriano, so that was enough. Nice pass. Really nice pass. Good catch, too. I said earlier about, that's a walk, an underrated skill for a big guy, being good hands. Soriano's got the hands. And here you go. Really nice pass here to Ghazi. Catches it in motion. And watch this catch by Soriano above the rim and brings it down. Not quite the Grant Hill dunk in 1991 where he brought it back from the third row in the national title game, but pretty impressive. There's another run out. Oh, bad play by Cologne. Cologne struggling this half. Should have held it out. He was 1-on-2. He's hoping to get fouled.
Now, who threw the Grant Hill lob? Was it Thomas Hill?
No, it was Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley. And Hurley will tell you that when he threw it, he started to point at Hill to say, sorry, man, bad pass. Except Hill was busy above the rim catching it and dunking it.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
Put Duke up 5-1. They never gave up the lead. Not that I remember that game or anything. Duke's first national championship.
Mark Randall, Adonis Jordan,
yes,
Kansas.
Yeah, and they beat North Carolina in the semifinals.
Yes, they did.
Beat Indiana and North Carolina to get to the championship game.
Foul here on Juice Williams. As we turn back the clock of college basketball, that was a King Rice-led North Carolina squad. Played point guard for the Heels, now the head coach at Monmouth.
And has done a really good job at Monmouth. They were one of those teams that should have gotten a bid a few years ago. They won, I don't know, 22 games in a row, lost in the championship game in the conference tournament, and the committee said, enjoy the NIT. That was really unfair.
The Metro Atlantic, they'll play tomorrow night against Quinnipiac.
One of my favorite school names, Quinnipiac, even if I can't say it.
You know,
Tom Bakura is an assistant coach there now, the former Fordham coach.
You know, the one that does all the election polls.
That's right, they do. Chris Farrow helping me out, our producer, with the pronunciation.
Battle, little teaching moment for Jamie and Christian.
He does that constantly. He's always thinking to the next day, the next practice. Longarica way out there with the double team, now trying to circle back.
Shot clock down to 5. Cobb, and ended up pushing off. Offensive foul.
Right arm came up there. Cobb saying, who, me? Yes, it was you. Sorry, Joe. $14 fouls now for Fordham in this half. 3 for GW. Neither team lighting the scoreboard up, as we noted. But interestingly, Fordham's made 18 out of 36 shots. They're shooting 50% from the field, which in a low-scoring game like this is a big deal.
Walker able to draw on the double. Jack, the recipient.
They needed that one.
Yep.
Really needed it at 3. They needed Jack to make 2 in a row. Get going.
GW now 3 of 12 from the field here in the second half.
Longarica really trying to attack defensively. Portley too quick for him.
And that time with the left hand, Antoine Portley.
Portley saw that one-on-one with a big guy, no help underneath, and said, I got this one.
8 now for Antoine Portley. Walker trying to create, got the separation on route, but couldn't convert. Longarica, the offensive rebound. And Perry, chance at a run out. Got the separation, couldn't get
defense.
The bucket. Jack got the recovery.
Perry wanted a foul. And how many times do you see a guy miss a layup and then scream for a foul? Because it's never his fault. That was just good defense, period. And a big defensive stop there for GW. If it goes to 18, Jamie and Christian would have had to call timeout.
Yeah, big time danger zone for the Colonials. Longarica hanging it up there, and it dies.
That's not his game. He's not in there to shoot threes. He was open, but it's the old coaches saying, Coach, I was open. Yeah, there's a reason you were open.
Now 1 of 11 from 3 on the year, Javier Longarica. Rose, good drive, good ball movement for the Rams.
Good patience.
Austin, hard drive, and gets the late contact. With just over 10 minutes left here in the second half. Life for the Fordham Rams in the first round, pretty good, especially when you're living above the rim with Joel.
3 games in 26 hours and winning all 3 as an 8th seed. So Dennis Felton has told the Fordham players, look, this may seem hard, but I've seen worse. I've seen tougher. And Fordham needs to make free throws if they're going to keep this lead. They're now 4 out of 9 from the foul line. And again, my math's not very good, but that's not good. Now they're 4 out of 10. That's worse. And that's a real missed opportunity there to stretch that lead to 18 with just over 10 minutes left in this game. Had 2 opportunities to do it and failed at both. Missed layup, 2 missed free throws. Now they get the ball again. GW struggling to score as they have all game. 28 points in 30 minutes.
Potter found Jack there, who was unable to convert.
They're looking to drive the basketball every chance they get.
Ghazi, good find for Austin with the shot clock winding down. And Battle couldn't corral that, lost out of bounds. We've had that happen a couple times today. Guys struggle to collect basketballs on the baseline.
But give Rout credit, because he kept after the ball and didn't just let him grab the rebound, and that's why it ended up going off of Battle's hands. Sometimes those little things that don't show up in the box score matter a lot. Fordham gets another 20 seconds to say, oh, terrible inbounds pass. That was brutally bad. Seen some bad passes in the second half, haven't we?
Jack,
nice
spin cycle and able to score.
Tried to reach in and steal the ball. So Fordham had 3 opportunities to go up 18. Didn't convert any of them. Now the lead's down to 14. And if GW rallies in this game, this part of the game is going to go down as critical.
Fordham's largest lead of the game has been 16.
And this is where Fordham, having beaten GW twice, is important for Fordham, because they know they can beat this team because they've done it.
Ghazi.
Huge. Wow. Huge. Not even an easy shot either. Off the dribble. And Jeff Newbarrow said to me the other day, Ghazi's been their most improved player in recent weeks. Excuse me.
9 now for Urton Ghazi. Everything going right for Fordham. And GW only 1 of its last 7 from the field. Said it at the top of the broadcast, Fordham hasn't beaten the team 3 times in 1 season.
Since they were in the Patriot League.
Yeah, 1991, so that goes back almost 3 decades.
It's a long drought, I think it's fair to say.
Yes, I would say so. Shot clock cut in half for GW. Battle still yet to get going. Can't do it again in his first ever A-10 tournament game.
It's a shot he can normally make. And again, Fordham does play very good defense, don't they? Nothing's easy.
He and Jack are combined 6 of 20. The team not much better. 31% for the Colonials as a whole. Bortley with 8 to shoot. Good D by Battle.
Very good D.
Bortley has to be the bailout. Got the step.
Got it on the rim, but couldn't make it. I think he should have looked for a teammate there when the ball was knocked loose from him briefly.
Potter, little bounce game around Soriano, score it, plus the foul.
And that is his game, getting to the basket. As I said, he's not a three-point shooter, even though he's a point guard. And that's his game. He hasn't done it that much today, but he did it there. And this game remains very much in doubt. In part because Fordham hasn't had the chance to kind of put him away and didn't take advantage. But you can see watching this game, especially when Fordham's on the defensive end, why Jeff Newbarrow said the other day, look, I know our record's not good, but I'm really proud of the way this team has competed. Because they have competed, even with the injuries. They lost their leading scorer and rebounder in Ohams, 1 game into conference play. Nick Honor transferred last year. Other guys have struggled with injuries. And yet they've been very competitive in just about every game. That's a turnover. GW went to the press, and careless ball handling there on the part of Ghazi. And again, it's a 14-point lead with 8 minutes to go. That's hardly put away, and now Soriano comes back in very quickly.
10th Fordham turnover, 6 of them have come in this half. Battle.
Thought he had that. That's a Battle shot off a curl cut off a screen, excuse me. Let's see if Fordham can run a little better offense with Soriano back in the game. Real ball pressure out there. In the old days, that would have been a 5-second call.
Cologne, good kick out. Cobb standing still.
Cobb hasn't shot the ball very much in this game, but that was a big shot. That was only his 4th shot of the game. That was a big one there. 2 big threes for them. It allowed them to keep this lead well into double digits.
Pushes Fordham to its new largest lead at 17. Jack just turned it over.
Near turnover.
Cobb was on the baseline. Fordham trying to close out George Washington for what would be the 3rd time just across the river.
with their defense. That's just a fact of life. They do such a good job with ball screens, with the way they get over them and don't allow you to use the ball screen the way most teams allow you to use the ball screen. And of course, the ball screen has become the yin and yang of offense. Got an open shot there.
Potter able to take care of it to bring them back to within 14.
And I think that may be the 9th three he's made all season. This guy said that's not really his game, but they need to make some threes now to close this gap. Malone almost turned it over again.
Up top to Soriano, they reset. Cologne the flash.
Can't make anything. He struggled. I don't want to be tough on the kid, but he's had a really tough second half.
And now 0 for 4.
And he just got blown by Potter.
And quickly 5 straight for Armel Potter.
That's just what Jamie and Christian needed out of the timeout, was a couple quick baskets, one of them a 3. And Potter's his leading scorer, fifth-year senior. He needs him to keep doing what he's been doing the last couple possessions. And if I'm Fordham, I want Soriano to get a touch here. 6 for 7 from the field. Well, he's got a touch.
Good curl for Portley. Had to adjust Soriano and got pushed.
Well, he got the push on the offense, got the touch on the offensive rebound. Portley missed the shot. And it's still a non-shooting foul because that's only the 15th foul for GW. And what that does, if nothing else, is it allows Fordham to run some clock, although it's too early with a 12-point lead to be thinking clock. You got to run your offense. You got to get the ball in bounds. You can stay on that. Kids all the time forget. You can go in the backcourt on an inbounds pass. Ghazi was worrying about keeping it in the front court. He didn't have to. Cologne needs to get it out.
Portley with 6 on the timer.
That was a nice move. Used his quickness there.
10 now for Antoine Portley. He and Soriano, the 2 double-figure scorers this afternoon for Fordham. Parr and Potter.
A little 2-man game there, and I thought that was off GW. It is. Parr tried to get a 3rd man involved, and that led to a turnover.
They've done a better job taking care of the basketball this half. It hasn't really mattered.
Well, you got to shoot it, right?
Yep, it's been the biggest problem. Ghazi, Soriano.
Good play by Soriano. A, to catch it, and B, to not force it up there. Run some clock, try to get a good shot.
Fordham's only shot better than 45% 3 times all year. Today is the 4th.
They have been offensively challenged all season. They average 58 points a game. They're at 52 right now. And again, you lose your leading scorer going into conference play. It's going to affect your offense.
Chuba O have such a good offensive rebounder, too.
Yeah. And a good defender.
Had a massive game, actually, when you and I had that first round a year ago. It was everywhere for them.
Kept them in the game, really. They almost stole that game from Richmond.
Quiet day for Jalen Cobb.
He's only taken 4 shots, but he did make that huge 3 out of the corner a couple minutes ago. And unlike his teammates, he converts 2 free throws. I think that's the first 2 for 2 they've had in the game. They were 3 for 7 from the line before he shot those 2.
Final 5 minutes of change. Matt Martucci, John Feinstein. Second of 2 teams will move on.
Potter heating up. Question is it going to be too little too late? He's got 7 points in the last 2 minutes plus.
15 for Armel Potter over his season average. Guy who was actually recruited at first by former GW head coach Mike Jarvis down at FAU. And then when Mike Jarvis resigned down there, ended up breaking his foot at an LA Fitness and had to reopen his recruiting. And Charleston Southern was really one of the only schools that came calling.
Charleston Southern of the Big South Conference.
Shot clock down to 3 here for Fordham. Cobb
thought he'd made that. He was retreating, ready to put 3 fingers in the air. GW still alive, down 14. Need a bucket here.
Winner gets the Duquesne Dukes, the 6th seed tomorrow.
And that was good defense. Soriano came to help Ghazi. Nothing else costs GW a little time.
Shot clock does not reset. 8. Now for Potter. Walker Jr.'s had a tough time all day. Potter has to be the bailout. Lets it fly.
Wow. Guy who's made 8 threes all year, and he makes that bomb. And that was an absolute must make at the shot clock buzzer.
Last one of his career, not ready to go. The Flyers' resume. Talked about the win streak before. They're the first team to run the table in the A-10 since the league went to the 18-game format.
Well, and as you see, both their losses in overtime. One against Kansas, #1 team in the country. One against Colorado, which is going to be an NCAA tournament team. Nice pass. Oh, Soriano didn't finish. First time all day. Got exactly what they wanted there, Jeff Neubauer's team did, and didn't convert. So GW lives.
And once again, living with Potter. Williams with a big offensive rebound in between Soriano.
Huge offensive rebound there. Battle can make that shot. Oh, way off,
Just
though.
way long with the adjustment on the fake.
Yeah, you got to get Portley credit there for getting a hand in his face and forcing him to put it on the floor. Good play there by Cologne to kick it back out. Battle's really struggled to shoot today. He's a good shooter. Now they're going to start fouling.
Now just over 3 minutes left here in the second half. Fordham looking pretty good to move on. GW
getting in as an at-large. Not after what the NCAA and the school have gone through with James Wiseman. They're not getting in as an at-large.
Stanford playing tonight at 9 in the Pac-12 first round. They have Cal. NC State ended up beating Pitt today in the second round. ACC tournament, 73-58.
Well, they might play Duke tomorrow in the quarters. If they beat Duke, they'll be in, and they should be. I'll say that much. Of course, if they don't get in, nobody loves to scream louder about not getting in than NC State fans. I think they might enjoy that more than actually getting in.
And, of course, Indiana with Nebraska tonight.
Nebraska hasn't won a game since October.
Yep. Battle with
another miss.
Yep.
Oh, bad pass. Oh, my goodness, was that a mistake by Ghazi. Game was all but over, and why he would think to throw it back under his own basket at that moment, I have no idea.
Armel Potter now 20 in what looks like his final collegiate basketball game.
And you know what the answer is as he makes up for it with a layup and gets fouled? You know what the answer to my question was? What was he thinking? He's a kid. He's in a big-time basketball game that he desperately wants to win, and he made a mistake. Guys like me shouldn't be quite so hard on kids when they make that mistake, and he made up for it right away. But he still made a mistake.
At least you recognized your mistake.
Yeah, my mistake I was stunned, let's put it that way, because he's played such a good game.
Ghazi now with 12 to complete the three-point play.
They're shooting their free throws a lot better in the last couple of minutes. And again, here's a situation where when a team rolls the ball inbounds to save time, one of the guards needs to come up and make the kid pick it up. And Potter may be going out, but he's going right to the wire with everything he's got. Since about the 7-minute timeout, he's been brilliant. He was so quiet for a long time.
22 today, Armel Potter. Ended up missing 3 games with what was a hip injury earlier, but cut his 4 to 6 week rehab time in half. That's part of the reason that he ended up being able to get back.
Yeah, he only missed 3 games. Now they put Cologne on the line, and this is the last 1-and-1 that Fordham will have to shoot. And Cologne has struggled here in the second half. Let's see if he can convert a free throw or 2 here. Nope, brick. He's been perfect in the second half. Really has struggled. This goes in, we got a game.
Battle.
Nope, Battle just can't make one. Cologne, good job running the rebound down, and gets fouled, and this time he'll get 2, which should help. And he's frustrated, you can tell. He's a much better player than what we've seen here in the second half.
Yeah, that foul going on Juice Williams.
Cologne saying to his teammates, I got it. I know I haven't been great, but I got it here. So let's see. Under 2 minutes, 1:59.
Has not scored today, Josh Cologne.
As I said, it's been a tough day.
Junior out of Carolina, Puerto Rico.
Ghazi right in there to give him a pat on the back. again, I think Fordham should be up there and make them pick the ball up. It's a simple thing to do. You let them save time, and that could be critical at the end of a close game. Of course, it's not critical if GW keeps missing.
Foul on the rebound. Soriano might have gotten poked in the eye, actually. Third personal on Jack. And so Fordham, it looks like Duquesne tomorrow. 14 against what would be the 6th-seeded Dukes. A little shocked, honestly, that Sincere Carey didn't end up on any of the all-conference teams for Duquesne. One of the best point guards in this league.
And Fordham has played Duquesne tough. Our mutual friend Andrew Bogish, a Fordham grad, is texting me saying, I don't want to jinx this, but Fordham plays Duquesne well. You can tell he's already getting excited.
Oh, hey, maybe it's another first. This one is a first.
Yeah.
Last gasp for Jack.
Ooh, ouch, ouch, that hurt.
Jalen Cobb, yeah, just got low-bridged.
Tried to foul Cologne there, he's too quick. And Jamie and Christian trying to extend the game by fouling, but it doesn't help to extend the game by fouling if your team can't buy a basket. And again, they're on 47 points with 1:29 to go. Another sterling defensive performance by Fordham, although you have to say that GW's best shooters have missed shots that you would normally expect them to make, at least some of them.
Looking over to the corner of the Fordham bench, Jalen Cobb getting worked on.
He went down hard. You hope it's just that he got banged and nothing more, because they're definitely going to need him tomorrow.
Only the 7th time in an Atlantic 10 contest that Fordham has scored more than 60 points all year.
They average 58, so
it's
not that surprising a stat.
No.
That was a foul. That's a silly foul there by Perry, because you don't want to stop the clock.
I was trying more to quantify that they've had a good day, or at least for...
You were accurate. You were completely accurate.
Overall, what'll be the 4th straight here in this series.
Fordham and GW used to play all the time in the old ECAC as independents years and years ago. Back when Digger Phelps was the coach at Fordham. Wow. 1971. He went 26-3 and made the Sweet 16. I've always told Digger for years, you know, you were a great coach, and he'll get all puffed up and I'll go at Notre Dame. At Fordham, excuse me, I blew the line. But he was a very good coach at Notre Dame, too.
Yes, he was.
He had an amazing year at Fordham that one year, 29 years old.
Potter's had a good day. One of the few Colonials, basically really the only Colonial.
Well, and really, he was very quiet until these last 6-7 minutes.
Chase Parr has been the next best.
He had most of his points in the first 10 minutes.
24 for Potter after a couple of made free throws. Longarica back in.
Jamison Battle all but crying on Jamie and Christian's shoulder there, clearly upset with his performance today. He's a much better player than what we saw.
And a lot of basketball left in his career.
Oh my gosh, just a freshman. And of course, we should mention again that GW clearly missed Jameer Nelson Jr.
Yes,
today.
They did.
He'd been playing so well for the last month and hurt his hip. And to Jamie and Christian's credit, and the doctor said he could try it if he wanted to, which I'm sure he would have wanted to. And Jamie and Christian said, I'm not taking any chances with this kid's future. Let's find out exactly what's wrong, get him fixed, and let him come back for his sophomore year. Jamie and Christian has a great future at GW. There's no doubt about that in my mind. He's only been successful wherever he's coached. Cologne, by the way, has really come on making those free throws in these last couple minutes. Good for him after struggling most of the day.
Both he and Soriano end up getting a seat on the bench.
Minute to go here.
New largest lead for Fordham. Longarica
That's the only way he's going to make a three. Shaking his head there going, yeah, well, I didn't try to bank it, but it still counts.
Second bank three that we've had of this afternoon. Yep. Ryan Daly had the first one late in game number 1.
Ryan Daly, a little better shooter than Margarita.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, GW not fouling. They're just going to let this clock run down.
Now Jeff Neubauer and the Rams going to live to fight another day. Survive and advance.
Well, maybe that March is the time for dreaming speech worked out, at least for today. There's another bank.
Cobb back in the game, ailing and all.
Well, the good news is that Cobb is okay, because he did come down hard, and this should be the last possession. You don't want anything untoward to happen here with game over. One last steal.
And Cobb putting the exclamation point on this first round.
I think he's okay.
Last shot of the season for GW. And Fordham, for the first time since 1991, has beaten the team 3 times in one season.
Long-time old rival. Coach is hugging there.